Good afternoon, my dears. Today I'm here with a video that you've asked me for so many times, and I'm also bringing two important things. I know you were waiting for this video, my dears. Today I'm going to show you how to take digital notes. How I take my digital notes. Because the printer is starting to print, huh? How do you take digital notes? Also, you've often asked me for something after seeing it and wanting it too. Okay? It's how to make a font from your own handwriting. I mean, that's the discovery of the year. Honestly, you're going to be amazed. It's wonderful to be able to take notes digitally right away. I got this from you because you told me after I posted a story asking what to do with my life. I'm about to start high school, and I'm unsure whether to use a notebook or a binder for taking notes. I didn't even consider digital in my mind, but it's true that a lot of people told me digital, digital, digital. And I said, that's true. I won't have enough time. Because people were telling me that then you have to rewrite the messy notes from your notebook to a clean one. You won't have enough time. Honey, it's true. I don't think I'd have enough time. Seriously, people told me to take notes digitally. I couldn't be more grateful to you. I'll give you a quick look at my notes so you can see what they're like, but they're nothing special. Oh my God, that's crazy. It's beautiful, it's nice, but it's not full of embellishments. Don't expect something super fancy here, because it's not fancy at all. It's something simple but pretty. For me, it's about being practical. If I'm not, it doesn't work. As for embellishments, I have to admit I don't know much about them. Here's what I studied. It's perfect for me, so I'll show you. Plus, it's pretty, which matters too. For the main title, I use a font that's more like lettering than this. Like I said, you can find fonts on the internet very easily, sweethearts. And besides lettering, you have as many as you want. Something simple like this, but anyway. I use just one color palette. Pinks, because I think it makes a big difference. It's a color like this. One darker and one lighter. But you can see both at the same time and they're pretty. So I use a strong fuchsia like this in the main title, and then in the section titles, I open with another font, which is more simple, let's say, and a lighter pink color. Those are the titles, and then there's the content, right? Where the important stuff is? That's my handwriting, guys. I mean, it's my handwriting that I've digitized and turned into a font. That's one of the things you'll learn today. Wow, that sounded very quarto millennial. But that's how it is. The best part is that today I'm going to give you the free option for everything. I mean, myself. It's true that, for example, GoodNotes, which is what I use, I'm using the paid version because after trying the free one, I decided it was worth paying for. That's because the app is already good, just like my handwriting font. I'll give you the free option. Always low. The first thing we need, my dear, is something to take notes on. It doesn't make sense otherwise, whether it's a computer, a tablet, whatever you want. I have a 9th generation iPad, which is my study iPad, you could say. I don't use this one for class. It's just for studying here. I also have the 10th generation one. Yes, I do use it here. And the good thing is that sometimes I use it for this too. If this one runs out of battery, I have the other, which is mainly for home use, while this one is just for studying. The second thing you need is an app. Okay, for notes, I use GoodNotes, but there are many others, like Notability and, well, a bunch of other names that I don't really write down in a notebook, so I can't remember them right now. But anyway, you have both free and paid options, whatever you want. In my case, as I said, I use the paid option, but there's also a free option. You have a limit of 3 notebooks. I use just one. I mean, you can use it perfectly fine. It depends on whether you want to have a notebook for each subject. For example, in my case, I have one notebook for all the subjects. Since the pages are unlimited, I think that's the best option. It makes the most sense, and if you don't want to spend money, you can just use the free option. And it's wonderful. The good thing about GoodNotes is that you can use it on all your devices. Literally, I have it on my phone too. I mean, you can have it on your iPad, you can have it on your computer, you can have it on your phone. So, for example, if you feel like it, I don't know, you're on the bus and you have nothing to do, you can say, well, I'm going to study, right? This way, you can get ahead. Just use your phone or notebook to study and no one sees you anymore. So that's a plus. Because otherwise, you have to carry your notes like, oh, I left them at home. Oh, what do I do now? Or if not, oh, I left it behind. I don't have it. I can't study. Well, no, with GoodNotes, you can study. Third, this isn't essential, but it's what helped me. Okay? Having an iPad case with, a keyboard. Okay? For me, this has been my greatest discovery. Definitely wonderful. Because of course, what happens? The difference between writing in a notebook and writing on a keyboard? You can write down all the information a teacher gives you, which isn't the same as tiring out your hand. I've been there. Writing so much that even a single letter takes forever. It's true. It's that everything the teacher is saying, I'm copying it down. One day I had to write it down in my notebook because, I don't know, it was chemistry and, I don't know, it was horrible really. It's something I highly recommend. In fact, I'm going to leave the Amazon affiliate link in the video description of my case, in case you want it. Because honestly, I think it's the best important. Very important. If your classes are in Spanish, make sure the case has the 9. This isn't essential either. Honestly, I use it less. This is, well, an Apple Pencil. An Apple Pencil. This is basically if you want to take your notes digitally by hand, or if you want to do something else. But anyway, I'm telling you, I have the first generation Apple Pencil, and this one from Amazon, which I'll also leave the link for. And honestly, I have to say that I haven't really noticed any difference. Maybe if you want to start drawing in Procreate, then maybe the Apple one is better. But I'm not talking about drawing. I'm talking about taking notes. And honestly, I think this one is better because it's super lightweight. This doesn't bother me. At least not with my first generation one. It keeps slipping, so you have to constantly readjust it, which is horrible. But I'm saying this in case you want to take notes by hand. I don't like it. Or if you want to do a quick drawing. An arrow here and there is nice, yes, but it's not essential. I have to admit, to make this work better for me, I had to change the tip. Not sure if you can see it, but anyway, I bought a pack on Amazon with various tips, but ended up using this one, similar to a Bic pen tip. It also works for the Apple Pencil. And another thing I did was buy myself a kind of screen protector with a paper-like texture. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's more matte. Listen to this. So, when you write with the Apple Pencil, it's like you're writing more on paper. So, in the end, your handwriting comes out much better because the tip doesn't slip. It doesn't slide either. So if you're going to take notes by hand like this, I really do recommend you get one. Both this and the thing about the paper, you can really tell the difference with the paper. It's huge. Let's get to the important part. I'll show you what my notebook looks like. As I mentioned, I only have one from my first year of high school. What I did was get it from the internet. I downloaded what is basically a notebook. I got the paid version so it would have dividers, but it's fine. There are free ones without dividers. And honestly, if you look well, you can also find free ones with dividers. Just so you know, I went to Create Fabrica. Okay, and there you have a ton of things. You can look for fonts, notebooks, whatever you want. And that's where I got the notebook, which is this one right here. I didn't make the cover myself. My mom did. I won't take credit, but I did change the cover. So here they are. These are my subjects. As you can see, I have plenty of extra space. Could probably add 5 more or so. And here are the dividers. I know one is biology, so I click it and biology opens immediately. Here it is. You see my subjects, my things. I don't know, number 5, that's in English. I have everything there. I don't need to have 25 notebooks because I only have one with all the subjects and as many pages as I want. You can also buy them already organized with dividers in the GoodNotes store. Just letting you know. Another really cool thing that I really like is that it has different types of pages. Okay? I mean, I go in here and it has all these types of pages, which are a lot. GoodNotes provides some when you open a notebook, but not as many. This is cool because if I want the one that splits it into 6, I have it. And all I need to do is explain it to you. Okay, just so you know, right now, this is in this section of sheets, so I can't just start writing here because I'm not in my chemistry class. If I don't want to put it in my chemistry class, I just have to come here. I copy the page and go to chemistry. I go to the last sheet, click here, then paste page. Now it's in chemistry and I can start writing. The other one is just like a template. And here you really have your sheet, so now you can write here and you already have it. I'm just saying something crazy. You even have some that are planners, like an agenda, so you can have a notebook and an agenda in the same one. This is really great. I'm going to show you how to make a notebook from scratch, for free. Important? Okay, I know this. We go here to the regular home, we click on Create Notebook, and you know that you have up to 3 more. I'm not saying anything if you already found a notebook or what I mentioned in Creative Fabrica while searching. Then you would click here to import and upload it from your files. That's not my case, just imagine. So we'll do it from scratch. We click here and notebook. Here we have a big, ugly blue cover, all by itself. That's fine. We'll change this now. Okay, let's choose, for example. Let's choose this one here. Okay, not this one. This one. This one, that's prettier. This one here. You also have colors here to change. Just click here and it drops down, see? For example, look at the white one. This one with brown, it's pretty. Let's leave it like this. Perfect, and now we'll go straight to the paper sheets, where we're going to take our notes. We can also change the color. For example, they're yellow now for some reason. So let's make them white, which is standard. And here you also have in case you want grids, if you want lines. Look, see? There you have plain lines. Grids, whatever you want, my dear. You have it here. You even have the typical ones for doing these methods. The method, for example, the Cornell method. Well, you do it here. You have some things. It's not the same as if you download it yourself, but it's good, honestly. So we choose the paper we want. For example, I'm going to stick with the simple grid, the classic one, right? And then we just click here to create it, and we have our notebook here. Look at it. How cute. How nice. Let's start taking notes now, shall we? The first thing we would do is write down the main topic. I'm going to put it here so you can see it clearly, and that way I can take it too. Here, we have several options. For example, we can do it directly with the brush, like something normal, and we could put the topic up here. Well, there are people who know how to do lettering. There are people who have nice handwriting, but I have neither. That's my case, so I can't do it because it doesn't look nice for me. Okay? If you enjoy it, you do it, and it turns out beautiful, my dear. But if it doesn't work out for you, writing it directly like that, don't worry. Everything in life has a solution. We have the option to click directly here on the text box. We click where we want, and then we write with the pencil. I know you must be saying, what are you talking about? Is she crazy? This is how we've always written. Well, yes and no. I mean, you can write if you want. Here you put, for example, well, topic, like you would have done before. And it automatically turns it into a regular computer handwriting font like always. But if you're like me, darling, and your handwriting is impossible to read when you try to copy everything and you see you don't have enough time, it literally translates whatever it wants. Because if my handwriting can't be understood, well, we have a solution. This is the solution of all solutions. This is what I do. And this is where the wonderful keyboard comes into play. I put my little text box here and I start typing the topic. I already have it written. That's it, nothing more. You can even change the font. For example, I select this. I like to use pink. I swear I told you this before. And I use a lettering style font, which I love. Where the hell did the lettering fonts go? I'll use this font myself. Make it any size I want, and see it just like this. Perfect. And that way I have my pretty handwriting, because in my case, otherwise it wouldn't be pretty. I have it in the color I want. In the size I want. The good thing is, it's not like paper, where once you do something, it stays that way, right? If I don't like it, I just do this and erase it, and that's it. And I can do it again. Later at home, I redo it because it looked bad. It's not irreversible. You can always say, this isn't right. I'll fix it. Did I use the wrong word? One benefit of taking notes digitally is that it's easy, among other advantages. Now, I open another different document and put my topic for the perfect section here. And then I edit it myself. I use this one here and add a light pink to it, like this. Perfect, that's the section topic. If I add another later, I repeat the topic. It's like, I'm gonna talk about this. So this gets highlighted in that color, and then I move on to the content. This is where the nice part comes in, which is where my source comes in. Honestly, I think I couldn't have done it better. I mean, it's beautiful, and I'm sure yours will turn out wonderful too, okay? In my case, I have the font set as default, with the size, with the color, absolutely everything. So when I start writing, I just start writing with that font. Everything I take notes on in class, which is basically the main content, I use that font. And then, maybe at home, I do the other thing, which is change both things. But in the end, this one is always set as default. And since my handwriting turns out wonderful and beautiful, well, now you're going to see it. I'll start from here. What? The good thing is, if I make a mistake, it corrects me. So whatever I write gets fixed. Unlike a notebook, it's corrected instantly. It looks beautiful just like this. I checked, and honestly, I couldn't have done better. That's basically how it should be. How you can make your notebook? I mean, it's simple. And in the end, what's important is that you have an unlimited number of pages, because that's really annoying. Because if not, suddenly they tell you that's it, you're done, and then you're like, what? So the good thing is that as long as you have this free, notebooks in the end are really, like I said, I've gone through an entire year of high school. Okay, in one notebook. In a single notebook. Don't tell me you can't use just one. You can. Don't tell me it's not possible. So, now let's go to my notes. Because what I still need to do with them is highlight them. And that's something that, well, I really have to do at home. Because otherwise I don't have enough time. You'll see it. There's a trick. These are my notes, okay? I think they look really cute. I'm not being egocentric, but they're pretty. And when I highlight them, they're even prettier. I'm going to show you how they look when they're highlighted because, like I said, there's a bit of a trick to this too. Let's go ahead and highlight them. For this, I try to use more or less the same colors that are here. One that's quite a bit darker and one that's lighter. If they're not exactly the same, that's okay. Because if the dark one, for example, is too dark and you can't see the letters, then it's not useful at all. There should be a visible difference, but I don't want the underline to stand out too much. Just enough to make things clearer and more visual for me. I choose this light color, which is darker than the next one I'll use. And then I start underlining. Like the keywords, the good thing about this is that it has a section for that. Clicking here lets you draw a straight line. You agree, since this will be really helpful. So then, this means that if you, for example, use the Apple Pencil, whatever you want, your finger, whatever works for you, you underline genetic material, you let go, it automatically makes a straight line. It's not like this. This is really helpful since we all know we're not the best at drawing straight underlines. So this is great because they turn out perfect. So I start underlining those words. This one. This one. Euro. For example, with this lighter color next to it, you can save them, so you don't need to pick your color each time. Well, everything else that is important, but not as important as the other things. That would essentially explain it. There are also different highlight sizes, but I like to use the smallest one, because it really adapts to the letters. And it looks super cute. As you can see, it looks prettier and livelier with more color. Using just 2 colors keeps it clear. You know that the dark one is like the main topics, and the lighter one is for explanations and everything else. I was already using this last year. The thing about highlighting one thing in one color and another thing in another color. Honestly, it worked well for me because I can see it faster without wondering what I'm looking at. I want to say this is much more comfortable for me. Now, let's get to the material. So, something even more important that I think you'll like more, which is how to make the font with my handwriting, so you can try it yourselves. You tell me, Clodett, my handwriting isn't coming out well. I don't know how you did it, but it's not working for me or turning out how I wanted. I do love your handwriting, though. Well, don't worry, because I'm also going to leave you the link since I'll have it for sale on my website. Okay. Just like I'm also going to leave you the link to the page where I make the wonderful font. Okay. So you can also do it yourselves if you want, and that's it. The website is called Calligrapher. You log in with your account, register as you like, then click Templates. You'll see options: Reduced English, German, Numbers, Punctuation, Spanish. Click Spanish. You can only create one font per account, not per email address. It's no big deal. If it doesn't work out or you don't like it, just use a different email address and make another one. So don't worry about that. The only bad thing here is that you can only use up to 75 characters. I mean, you have enough for uppercase, lowercase, punctuation marks like, a period, a comma, whatever, the letters with the stores and not much else. You can't fit the numbers, my dear, which is a problem. I ended up paying for a month. It's €8 a month to get the font, but well, it's fine. Because now I'm going to take advantage and get the complete font. It's practical, but it depends on your actions and the numbers used. So you have this, you click up here to download the template, you select Portable Network Graphics and then download directly. We wait because this takes its time. Here we have it, so we click up here and it takes us directly here, and we download it and now we have it up here. This, as you can see, is a typical letter template, with its lines like this. It's guides so you don't go outside of them, but that's normal, it's fine. Because at least this way you know they'll all be the same. Here's the problem. You don't have an iPad or Apple Pencil, so you can't do it directly on the iPad. So, no, well, don't worry, honey. You just take it, print it out, and then do it by hand, either with a pen or with a marker. You scan and upload it the same way, so it will look identical. Don't worry, so that's it. Now you just have to make your little letter. Either put it in Procreate like I did, or just do it directly yourself. Here, for example, here I make an A, here I make a B, a C. I make everything and then I put it in there and it will look great. And when I have both sheets ready, I go back to the page here and now. I'm going to add my sources. I click on Load Template, and here where it says Select a File, I click and I can upload it directly from the photo library, from Files, from wherever I want. In my case, from Files, I click here and select the files I want. Perfect. And now I just click on Load Template. In my case, it has 4 letters because those are the ones I made. But imagine if the full alphabet with accents was there. If I don't like one, I can delete and redo it. Or just delete it if I don't want it. And now we're going to add characters to the font. Now, this has saved me, because the first time I did it, I was like, huh? It's just that one letter is way over here and the other is way over there. For the spacing between each letter, which is actually really important, you need to change that. Click Edit Details in Font, it's at 100%. I set it to 18 because it looks terrible otherwise. Just lower it to your preference. Mine is 18. And I leave the rest unchanged. And up here, I put the name of my font, the one I want, in my case, Clodett. And I put OR. Wonderful. And then, this is important, please. Because if you don't, it won't save. Down here, you have to click Save. If you also want to make sure that one doesn't end up in Cuenca and the other in yellow, do you want to check that? You click on these 3 dots here and then click on Adjust Baseline. And then here, depending on the font, you can increase or decrease the size, whatever you want. And you can change the font. You can change its position, but I think that's unnecessary. And once you have it, you click on Generate Font up here, and you name it Generate. And that's it. If you like it, if it's perfect and wonderful for you, then you just have to download this up here. Here, where it says La Clodett Regular TTF, you download it. Next to it, where it says OTF, download that too, just in case, okay? So if you need them, our font is ready to download on our iPad, tablet, computer, whatever you want. So that's it, sweeties. That's how we would take notes digitally. Honestly, I think it's the best way. I mean, really, consider it. Think it over. Because I think it's the best. Especially when it comes to backpacks. I think it's going to be pretty helpful, but, well, that's just a little tip, right? In case you want to take it. So, anyway, I'm going to go because I have to keep rewriting my notes. Since now that I've changed the font, I have to rewrite all of them. But, well, it's... okay, I'll get through it. That's it. So I love you all very much. I hope this has been helpful to you, and really, just think about it, okay? Love you, mwah.